Hello, I'm Pete Luce, a hypnotherapist and counsellor working in Plymouth city centre. I've made these videos so you can get to know me a little better and hear a little about how I work. Now obviously on the video I'm doing all the talking. You can hear me, but I can't hear you. In my office it's very different. I'll be helping you to tell me as much as you're willing to disclose about your problem so I can help you with it. Some things are difficult to talk about. That's okay. You won't be forced to tell me anything, in or out of trance. I get to understand your problems by listening to you. I overcome problems of my own, but they were my problems, not yours. And even if they were the same as yours, I'm not you. I don't assume that I know how you feel or what you want. My job is to help you tell me, and to find a way of helping you based on my knowledge and experience. A bit about me. I'm from a local family. My granddads were in the dockyard and my dad started there as an apprentice before moving on to a career in industry which took him in due course to London, where I grew up. My own first career was in mental nursing. One of my most vivid memories from that time was our tutor at the School of Nursing describing something he'd seen about 40 years before. He'd seen a patient having regression therapy, taken back in time to an incident in the First World War when he was strangled by a German soldier. And during the regression, red marks appeared on the patient's neck, corresponding to the German's fingerprints. And as he was brought back to the present day, the marks faded as rapidly as they'd appeared. Seeing and hearing things like that, I became fascinated with the human mind. That undiscovered country that we know less about than the dark side of the moon. After qualifying, I worked in inner London, looking after people with severe mental illness and managing a very busy psychiatric ward. I loved my work, but I wanted to do more. Often we seem to be just patching people up, calming them down and giving them a break from their troubled lives, but not really dealing with their underlying issues. And I could see there was a reason why people did the things they did, even extreme things like violence and self-harm. I wanted to know more. So in the 1980s, I trained as a hypnotherapist. The head of the college where I trained was a very down-to-earth northern character who insisted on a very responsible way of working. In fact, he once threw a student off the course halfway through the lunch break because he'd caught him misusing his new hypnotic skills by showing off to some members of the public whom he'd met in the canteen. Hypnotism is not something you mess around with. By 1993, dissatisfied with changes in the NHS, I quit nursing, moved back to Plymouth and set up in private practice as a hypnotherapist and counsellor. And I've been doing this now for over 20 years. I've worked with every kind of people, Marines and musicians, doctors and doormen, barmaids and businessmen, people from different ethnic groups and sexual orientations. Of course, my education as a therapist didn't end with my initial training in the 1980s. It's a lifelong process. In the 90s, I trained with Dr. Brent Geary, an American psychologist. He had trained with Dr. Milton Erickson, a genius who overcame multiple disabilities to become the greatest hypnotherapist of the 20th century. But my greatest educators are my clients. I learn something new from everyone I meet. If you're helping I can help you, your next step is to phone me or email from the contact page to book a free initial discussion at my office. At that meeting, you can tell me what's your problem, and I can tell you how I would propose to help you. And you're welcome to bring a friend or relative with you to this meeting or to any of your therapy sessions if you wish. The great majority of people do book for therapy with me following this free initial meeting.